Okay, so now I'm gonna go back into the Archon quest. Now, unfortunately, of the lack of checkpoints, I thought I had reached a checkpoint where I could take a break and continue, but apparently no. There are no checkpoints. Basically, the second you do this, if you don't do it all in one go, you're basically fucked. So now I have to redo everything I did yesterday, which is frustrating. Even more so because I can't skip things. Now, I'll skip as much dialogue as I possibly can. There we go. I'll skip as much dialogue as I possibly can. Yeah. Let's go. So yeah, I'll but it is kind of frustrating because there's a lot of dialogue and this game doesn't really have the ability to skip dialogue. I can skip. I don't have the ability to skip cutscenes, and the best I can do for skipping dialogue is it has to show like the first little bit of it, and then I can move on. So actually, it has to show the first 10 characters before I can then press X to show the entire line, and then X to continue. So, and because I've already done this before, I'm not gonna make the same theory. I'm not gonna do the same theory crafting right away. Yeah. Which is something I was doing before, so. But obviously, for this is the shitty thing, is that I can't skip this dialogue, right? So this abyss bullshit, I have to wait for it to completely say its thing, and then continue. So that's the kind of shitty thing, is that I am stuck, even if I keep scrolling through and Xing off these people, it'll never stop. Is that it? Sure, the survival of the Eclipse Dynasty, the only way to do that is through killing children. Which of course is dumb, right? Realistically, everyone understands how fucking wrong. The way to ensure you don't have any political dissidents is not to kill everyone who could potentially be a dissident, right? Obviously not. You have to be a complete fucking lunatic to think that's correct, right? Even if they were plotting, right? Even if they were plotting to overthrow your dynasty, right? You shouldn't kill them. But then again, this is 500 years in the future, but supposedly they had technology and shit that was relatively advanced. They were the ones who made the field tillers and all that shit. All those robots, so they presumably have relatively advanced technology. So, obviously, advanced technology doesn't mean advanced morality. It doesn't mean your civilization is that advanced, just because you have good technology. Mainly because, as an example, the dragons produce a lot of technology. So that technology could have been stolen or basically replicated by the Conrians. So it's not even that they themselves are super smart. It could just be that they were able to, make use of the technology that already existed. So, but even, that still does indicate a certain level of intelligence. To a degree, although it could, again, just be, it could be the same thing as it could just be one really, really smart person who's able to make use of it, one genius who's really good at technology that has basically turned everything around. So there's not a huge difference in the... it's not a huge difference. Like, the technology they had there is better, it's kind of better than what we have now, but either way, like, if you look around, it's not like super... Nothing about this place is like super advanced. Like, realistically, the only thing they've really done that we haven't replicated is either A, Abyss-related technology, obviously, and then 2, like, the field tillers and shit. So, like, we don't really create autonomous robots ourselves. Beyond that, like, we haven't really seen technology where it's like, oh yeah, like, they're so much more advanced. So, it could be a one-off type thing. This part will be kind of annoying because I have to go in and do all the fighting shit. Yeah, it is the thing that the voice is talking about that power, which I assume is the Abyss power, and I assume that the thing that's speaking to us is also the Abyss. So it's weird that he says that power, but then again, he is trying to pretend that he's on the up and up, so it could just be something simple like, yeah, it could just be pretending, oh yeah, I'm not, they saying, yeah, you hate the king, you think the king has gone fucking crazy, well, he has, and... Yeah. I don't even see how this is assassin training, right? So yeah, this is assassin training. I'm gonna just destroy wooden dolls that pop up. It's like, what? Oh yeah, so... Yeah, I guess they did have technology, because they had technology for the moon and for the moon shit, which we don't have. And again, we never really tried it. And I mean, like, it is tough, because, like, so supposedly you could argue that whatever they had, whatever technology they had in Conria, the, Cisnaya has kind of replicated, right? Because, like, Sandrone has her, her big robot thing, right? So, like, that's kind of like the field tiller. So, you could make the argument that we already have the technology for it. So it's hard to say, right? It's hard to say if Cisnaya has that technology. It's also kind of like, it's hard to say, like, did they really develop the technology? I mean, like, they have Piero and Capitano, both of whom were part of the Conrian dynasty, right? They were part of the Conrian civilization. Can I go through here yet, or do I still have to do the talking and shit? Okay, whatever. So, like, both of them are from Conria, so it's like, well, did Cisnaya really develop that technology themselves? Or do they just have people who were able to bring the technology from Conria, and they just spent the last, like, decades, centuries trying to replicate what they did? You know? Hard to say. Because, like, it really depends if, like... It really depends if they were, Like, I don't know if they were like in charge of the technology department, so it's like it could be that their knowledge of all this technology was fairly minimal. And so what they were able to bring to SNES and I was also incredibly minimal. Like, their own personal knowledge wasn't much, but like, I mean, considering they were there at the fall, they could probably have gotten like blueprints and stuff like that, or even, so, yeah, or even if they only like met up SNES and I like much later, they would at least know where the locations of their labs maybe were, so they could help excavate them and help SNES and I build their technology. So it does beg the question of like, how much of SNES 9 technology has basically just been copy pasted from, Conria, or how much of that was their own actual. Because like obviously we see a ton of machinery, right? Like in Odd Cry, their fucking base is a big pile of machinery. So like they do seem to have a level of technological advancement that is similar to Conria. So the question is how much was genuinely them and their geniuses, or just them following the blueprints left by the Conrian civilization. I mean, the fact that they're still able to follow them and reproduce them and iterate on them does show a level of intelligence. But, obviously you are far more of a genius if you can come up with the shit by yourself. Like, no need to reinvent the wheel, but, like, the person who invented the first combustion engine might be smarter than the person who, improved the combustion engine from, version 1 to version 2, right? Sure. Yeah. They might have learned and be like, okay, cool, I think I know how to. Because, like, to improve something usually requires less innovation, right? You just see how things work, and then you're like, okay, well, now that I know how things work, I can then fine-tune variables and look for ways to improve efficiency. Whereas, like, coming up with the idea of what makes the thing work. I mean, I know this is not a really great parallel, but like, I did just finish Dispatch, right? So we have like the Astral Pulse that Mecha Man uses, and it's just like, yeah, like he can improve the Mecha Man suit itself, but the Astral Pulse he just can't because he just doesn't have the technological know-how. And even Royd, who is someone who is incredibly intelligent for both mechanical and scientific things, still can't, replicate it themselves, right? They can improve upon the suit, they can improve upon many other things, but when it comes to the sheer genius that went into constructing something, especially when you have to like replicate it purely on just what it is, without any sort of guidance, it's like, yeah, sure, that's where the tough thing happens. And so that's just the difference of the genius that goes into these things. I mean, to be fair though, like sometimes like later geniuses could have done this stuff, but it's like the idea is like the inception, like how they think about it, right? The difference is, the inspiration to come up with the idea is that maybe you were smart enough to create something based on the idea someone else made. Like, someone's like, oh, I know, if we do this and this and this, it can combine into this, You might be smart enough to do that, right? But you just never had the inspiration to come up with that specific combination of parts, technology, whatever like that, right? So, but yeah, this is interesting. So he actually does realize, see, this is where I stop, right? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm going to stop because a treasure chest appeared here. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, a treasure chest appeared here. Like, usually treasure chests appear at, like, checkpoints. So I was like, oh, cool, like, we reached a checkpoint. So I can take a pause, right? I've been doing it for 15 minutes, yeah. Last time it took me, like, 40 minutes to do this because I was actually listening to all the dialogue. So this is all new now. But yeah, last time I was listening to all the dialogue, doing some theory crafting.
行きたいんだな。
あなたが約束。
お前を見逃したら俺はどうなると思う？だが一度捕まったことは誰？
Yeah, and so finally with his fiancée being captured, yeah, exactly. You have to have a code. If you have no code, you're just a fucking animal, right?
最近
Um,
ずっと耳元でブツブツ言ってるな。
oh, interesting.
俺の
That's Verdofnir?
習得しに来ただけだ。あの女性を諦めない限り君は全てを失うことになる。俺がソリンディスを諦めることはない。
That's weird, right? Like, it's so abyss. So maybe he was already corrupted by the abyss then. Maybe his power always originated from the abyss. Because, like, obviously, this is incredibly shady, right? That looks like abyss, the same color as the abyss. Now, maybe they did that intentionally. So yeah, like, so basically what he was doing is he was just kind of being like, well, I'm just doing my job, right? Very much like a soldier committing war crimes. It's like, no, I was just told to. I know this is morally wrong, but I'm just going to justify it in my own mind. He's like, well, no, it's not my decision to do this. I've been told to. I'm a soldier and I have to follow orders. If I don't know. And that's the interesting thing too, right? So we know that, well, so supposedly, according to Dainsleif, so we don't know, but I mean, Dainsleif did meet his brother in prison, so presumably his brother was missing his eyes at that point. So it does beg the question of, was losing his eyes part of his plan? Or did Verdofnir imagine that he could reason with the king? You know? Or was he trying to get Rarier? Was he trying to get Rarier to kill the king, right? Was he going to be like, you know what? If I position myself in this thing, this is the time. This is the time when I can. And this is so weird, right? Like, so was the king the other sinner? I thought they were the five. They made the five sinners, but I thought they were all named. And so far, we haven't really. I don't think we've heard the name of the Vinster King. Well, maybe Piero's the Vinster King, perhaps. Because we did see that, not in-game, but there was an animation where they showed the three goddesses, one of which had been possessed by Rheindotter, or merged with at least Rheindotter. And then we had the Angel of Death saying that, oh, I think someone's looking at me, and it was Piero. And she remembers him from Conrad being destroyed, so it could be that Piero was the king, because we haven't gotten his name yet, and the fact that he can, like, he was there just chilling, watching the goddess fuck over the world, and then is still there and still able to kind of see them or pierce the veil of where they are, or at least make the gods think that he can see them, indicates some level of power. So I would assume that maybe he could be.
国王が過激な行動に出てなければ、きっと一生。
Oh wait,
お互いを騙し続
was
け
it the Vinster King who did this? Is the Vinster? Like, I would assume the Vinster King is not the one giving out the actual orders, right? I assume he just. I mean, like the actual. He did give the order, like kill these people, or collect these people so I can torture them for information, right? He did give that order, but like I don't think he's personally handing down the photographs of every single potential Red Moon descendant, right? Like, I don't think he's personally doing that. So I don't see how this is, if it hadn't intervened in such a drastic way, you know? And honestly, I don't think it's the Vinster King. I think Verdofnir did that.
そしてベズルフェルニル。ダインスレイブさんの兄は、どうしてレリルに人間の脳は無限に広がる境だ。別の手段を使う私たちは、レリルと今ゲーム版には十分な手がかりが集まった。ゲーム版は手がかりから答えを導き出してくれる。観察対象の認知情報を作成し、その行動原理を検証しよう。レリルが隠した真実を覗いてみようじゃないか。
Okay, that's kind of interesting. Now, it does kind of beg the question of like, oh yeah, we can just build a profile. It's like, you can build a profile of what he would do, but you only have a psychological profile of him. You know, and maybe you could get a little bit of Felindus as well, right? But like, you don't have enough for a psychological profile of Vidofnir. You have like literally no information about the Vinster King. You don't know his name. You don't like you only know that he's collecting Red Moon people, purging them, and trying to get information. But beyond that, like you don't know his name. You don't know the power he's been consorting with, right? You don't even know if he's personally been the one doing this. It could be that someone just told him to do this, and he's like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. Like it could be that he has like a vizier or a prime minister, and he's the one who's like, hey, King, could you go collect these Red Moon people? They have the secrets of immortality. And the king's like, oh, really? Secrets of immortality? Fine, sure. I give you the authority to round them up. So it could be that the king himself is a puppet, right? I mean, we know he's kind of a puppet from the abyss, but like maybe even the order to collect the Red Moon people didn't come directly from him. Maybe it was suggested by someone close to him. And it promised him something he wanted, like immortality, which is classic. And so how can you create a profile to anticipate what his actions would do? Like, sure, you could anticipate what he would do to a degree, but in the absence of the reaction of everybody else, it would be a fairly meaningless simulation, right? It's like, sure, he might have done this, but if you don't know how everyone else would have reacted, then you don't know shit. Oh my god, dude, what the fuck is with this fucking... Yeah, the camera angle fucked me over. I'd like the thing to be like, hey, maybe have the joystick. When I press up, the piece moves forward, right? Maybe up moves forward rather than up moves up in... They're basically, rather than make your joystick move them in the direction your piece is facing, i.e. up is directly in front of the piece, left, right is direct left to right of the piece. No, they're like, you know what we're going to do? Let's make your movement solely based on the camera angle. So if you want to go forward in front of the guy, you have to press right, you have to hold right on the joystick, because forward for the piece is right according to the camera angle, right? Which is fucking stupid. Just make it based on the piece, right? Because that's consistent. Then it doesn't matter what your camera angle is. Oh, so am I right? Is this where Vidofnir has been kidnapped? Oh, actually, maybe that's it. Maybe Vidofnir has already been kidnapped, right? Like, so we had him speak with. Actually, wait, no shit. Did we hear the voice? Did we hear the voice before he met with Vidofnir? My thinking is that maybe Vidofnir was captured at that point, right? So maybe the voice only sprung up after Vidofnir had been captured and his eyes gouged out. You know? Shit, I think I fucked up. So maybe he met with Vidofnir, and then after that, Vidofnir had gotten fucked. Oh wait, no, is that Vidofnir right now? Maybe not then. Oh no, that's Ryan Okay. So yeah, so my thought is that maybe we'll see if Verdofnir appears here. That makes sense. Oh, interesting. So and we know these are two of the 5 sinners. Rayrir is the other. Is another. Verdofnir, I think, is the 4th. So Verdofnir probably does appear. He probably doesn't have his eyes gouged out at this point. I was thinking that maybe his eyes being gouged out was what led him to succumb to the Abyss. And so my thought was that maybe after talking with Rayrir, he talked to the king, got thrown into prison, had his eyes gouged out, and he succumbed to the Abyss at that point, and then was able to speak with Rayrir in his mind, and that's why the mind communication looked so Abyss-coded. Maybe not. I mean, it depends. If Verdofnir doesn't appear at this meeting, then it could be true, right? And this could be... Oh, Horopti, yeah, that was the other one. So, Soroptatir, yeah, we don't really know much about this one. We haven't really, we know Verdofnir is, Dainsleif's brother, has the power of foresight. We know Rhindaughter. We know of Rhindaughter because of what she's done during Albedo, merging with the goddess. And we know Sir Logi because we met him inside the whale, and we've learned from Skirk who he was. But Horoptatir, I don't even know what his power is. So basically, these are 3 with Rayrir. So that's the thing. So the Vinster King isn't one of the sinners, which is interesting, right? Because Vinster King clearly has been corrupted by the Abyss, right? So if he's been corrupted by the Abyss, why isn't he considered one of the sinners, right? If he was the one who was first corrupted and led Conria down the path of destruction by embracing the Abyss, then why isn't he considered one of the sinners? Which makes me think that maybe this revolution was more successful than Dainsleif led on. Because he said, I was betrayed and my brother didn't go with me. And he made it seem like those are 2 separate events. So it's not like the betrayal was his brother not coming with him, but someone else betrayed him, which I assume is Rayrir. Although it could be Horoptatir. Because the fact that he was invited by Dainsleif, and we know Dainsleif was betrayed. Now we also know that Rayrir was also invited, and so far he doesn't seem like the type to betray, especially because of how indignant he is. So Horoptatir seems like... Yeah. Okay, so he's part of the university, so presumably he's in charge of all the technology. So the things that make he's probably the one in charge of the field tillers. He's the one who made all the field tillers do what they do. Because Rhindaughter is trying to create life, so it's unlikely that she would have created robots.
It それもすべて努力と運の積み重ねによって得たものです。あの王の推薦がなければ、この年で主席に選ばれることはなかった。ただ、僕も全く不満がないわけではあり、それに、エフテルビットは僕の座に座らなかったおかげで、無数の面倒ごとを回避できたんです。得るものがあれば、急に呼び出してすまない。ここに集まってもらったのは。
So I assume this is his brother's been kidnapped, and he invited them all to save him. And I assume this betrayal of the Vinster King led to a series of events which caused Conrad to fall, and that's why these 5, as the instigators of that event, are considered the sinners. Would be my guess. Or maybe in killing the Vinster King, the Abyss power that resided with him burst forth and corrupted all of them. Or maybe killing the king was the actual, like, maybe the Abyss burst forth, and that literally caused the calamity right then and there. Oh, actually, I mean, I would assume not, though, because, like, well, actually, I don't know. Like, maybe they all split up to do their own thing. His brother rejected being freed, and then the king was killed. Well, I assume they confronted the king first, and then, killed him or something, and then moved on. But maybe not. This is obviously that event, so we'll see how it shakes out.
ベズルが王宮に行き、陛下に進言した。
ベズルフェルニルが
Yes, I thought so.
それとも今の王は
僕が信頼されているなんてことはありませんよ。僕はただ陛下の好みに合わせることで神秘院のために。
Yeah, that's the thing. This guy is far too calculative. So if anyone betrayed anybody, it would be him, right? If it's like, okay, if he thinks that staying in the current situation is better than helping them, I could see him easily making that choice. Sertologi seems like who gives a shit. Rheindotter and Sertologi are both kind of like the wild cards. You could obviously see them as betraying them because they have their own mysterious goals.
賢すぎる人間は不要なのかもしれないな。
そんな話よりもこれからダインはどうするつもりなんベズル・フェルニルを助けたいんだ。
ああ、今夜俺と共に王宮に攻め入り、ベズルを
無謀です。それにダインスレイブ。あなたは宮廷
Yeah, so I can imagine Sertologi is like, yeah, sure, I'm all about power. Fuck it, let's go. Rheindotter, I could see her just finding this amusing. This guy obviously is the most calculative. So I don't know if his betrayal, if Roptitier's betrayal is him not joining, or if he does join and then betrays them midway. From the way Dainsleif says it, it makes it seem like they all agree, and then he gets betrayed while the plan is under action.
俺に謀反の意思はない。だが、ベズルは陛下に忠誠を誓っていた。王朝のためにこの件で陛下の目を覚ます。
どうやらベズルさんの予言が陛下の怒りを買ったようだ。陛下にとって耳障りな言葉はカーン・ルイヤの王はもはやここまでおったい。お前には燦然とした理想がある。だがそれは
赦免。けど赤月の人間が許されるなんて。
Yeah, like a pardon? Like, you literally admit to the madness of the king, and yet you want him to act sane? But I guess that could be how he was, so it could be that it was actually, it could be that it was Rayrir that betrayed him, right? It could be that with Rayrir and Dainsleif in the thing, maybe Rayrir says, hey, I'll help you if you give me a pardon, And so he accepts the pardon and stops Dainsleif, perhaps. So that could be the betrayal. Because obviously, by his own admission, he only cares about her. So I could see him betraying Dainsleif for her, if he feels like that's the only way to save her. Although, to be fair, killing the king would also give her a pardon. Shit. Okay, so I can't go that way then. Oh my fucking god, I fucking hate this so fucking much. It's so fucking annoying. The fucking perspective is so fucking dogshit. So I need to go down when it's like, well, no. You would think. Oh. Fuck. Does he? Oh, okay. So it still kills it. That's fine then. So it's just like I would much rather they would just be like, oh, well, you know what? Rather than camera relative, we'll just make it piece relative. Because that would actually make sense. you know? Rather than have to press up, 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 that's actually left relative to the piece. Because that would make things more consistent. In an obvious way. No, I get it, right? Either way, it's going to be slightly off, right? Is it also especially annoying considering the way the camera is angled? Where it's basically like splitting it 50-50, where it's like, oh, I could see left being going up, I could also see left being going left, because the camera angle is at a 45-degree angle from the piece's position. And so it's just like, do you make it happen camera relative or piece relative? I would want it to be piece relative, because it's super easy to know where you want the piece to go relative to itself, right? Oh, I want the piece to go forward. Okay, pressing up to go forward would be the easiest, most logical thing for me. Not me having to think, especially as I said, because the camera angle is at a 45-degree angle, you know, up is not purely up. Like if we were looking directly at the piece's right side, like so we're looking across the board so that the right side of the piece is directly we have a full-on thing. So pressing up would clearly be going to the piece's left. Down would be pulling it towards you, the camera. Then that's something else you could also kind of work with. But the fact that it's such weird angles, like at that point, you just make it fucking piece relative. You know, pressing up goes forward, the piece will move forward. Pressing down will have the piece move directly behind itself. Left and right will make it go to the left and right based on the piece's position, right? Makes the most sense.
研究者はすでに月髄が神のある権能と関係しており、その背後には特殊な空間が存在していることを確認している。また、月髄自体がその扉であることも判明している。ただし、空間がどこにつながっているかは未だに解明できていない。その扉を開くに扉を維持するには。
Wait, that's weird. Didn't we see I thought we saw Felindus in the portal. I thought when we went to get the moon marrow, we saw these machines that were like blasting the pond, and I thought we saw Felindus in that location. So she got there. So if she got there, then why is she reading literature about it as if it's something new, right? So, actually, yeah, currently the total power of their instrument.
最初、月髄に関連する実験部門は
Yeah.
私一人だけではなかった。しかし、
Oh, I see.
新品の大半の人員が
Interesting.
アビスの力
But then why are they still being hunted down then?
赤月の
Because I would understand if they had a lot of Crimson Moon related projects. It's like, sure, let's go hunt them down and get any information they have to try and boost that project's efficiency. But if everything's been moved to Abyssal Energy anyway, then what's the point of... Well, I mean, maybe that's what it was, and maybe that's what initially started the Red Moon Roundup, the Crimson Moon Roundup, was to help with their research projects, but even after all their research, they aren't getting any progress, so then they might have decided to swap over. And so now they don't need the Crimson Moon people, but the Vinster King has already issued the order, so they're still just going.
我々は一つの未知の力に期待を寄せすぎている。このまま依存が進む。
This is also a little silly, right?
他の技術の進歩が遅れるだろう。
One is single. I mean, yes, that is true. Single source of power is risky, especially one as poorly understood as this. Like, how well do you understand the Moon Marrow? Like, you have no fucking clue what it does and how it operates. You know? In fact, the Red Moon has already been corrupted by the Abyss. Presumably, the Red Moon has been corrupted by the Abyss for ages, right? Long before your Crimson Moon dynasty even existed. Although it's hard to prove it, right? Like, we only saw the Crimson Moon as it is in the present, so it could. We don't know the exact timeline of when the moon shattered. The moon shattering could have been the Archon War, or was the Archon War when the outsiders first came in and kicked the ancient dragon to the curb. So it's like, yeah, the Archon War that happened 7,000 years ago, was that the initial fight against the dragons? Or is that the fight that happened after the Dragon God came back, corrupted by the Abyss? The Dragon God coming back, corrupted by the Abyss, the war that then was fought, was what shattered 2 of the 3 moons. and what's what made the Red Moon the Red Moon. So, so it does make the question. Presumably, it was the second war against the Abyss corrupted Dragon God that was the Archon War, because I'm pretty sure, like Zhongli was talking about how, like, oh yeah, he made the Yaksha, and they all eventually succumbed to madness. But it's like, this is where all the gods were fighting. So presumably this was when the dragon came back, which led to the deaths of lots of gods. Because some of the monsters that happened back then too seemed pretty evilish. Like, so it could be understood that maybe came back, corrupted some gods, and so now it was just Vidofnir, or not Vidofnir, the ancient dragon god, corrupting some of the other gods, the new gods, and then starting the war. In which case, all that shit happened 7,000 years ago, which means the Red Moon must have been corrupted, shattered and corrupted 7,000 years ago. So it's like, you don't really understand that power source either. But regardless, she is correct, is that putting all your eggs in one basket is risky, especially considering what we know happened to Conria.
不敬な発言となっていたら申し訳ありません。ですが、もしそこへたどり着けたら、まず何をすべきでしょうか。
That's the weird thing, right? The moon beyond the gateway. It's like, I could have sworn we saw Thelindis interacting with the machines within the gateway. So she didn't get there. So maybe this revolution succeeded, and it didn't immediately cause the destruction of Conria. Maybe they were able to overthrow the Vinster King, and then the 5 remaining people, the 5 quote-unquote sinners, took over and continued all their bullshit. Thelindis got her opportunity to see the moon, and then shit hit the fan, and the whole thing was destroyed. Like, Conria was destroyed. Huh. Shit. Can't do it from here. Yeah, I just want to kill it for just and giggles. Yeah, I knew I'd probably have to get this one because it has less thingies. So 6 probably can't give me shit, so I probably have to go up. And then this way. Go.
はい。これをあげる。ソリンデスお姉ちゃん。あの話。さあ、何のことかしら。
I do find that a little weird, right? Like, oh, I heard you're leaving the capital. Like, why the fuck didn't you leave ages ago? Like, if you knew you were being hunted, why the fuck would you stay? Like, I'm surprised all the Red Moon people haven't just fucked off. Like, I understand, like, it's the capital, right? And on some level, maybe, and I was kind of positing before, is that maybe some of these people don't even know they're Red Moon descendants, right? Maybe the line is so diluted, they just aren't even aware of it themselves, and they're still being rounded up and killed, so, yeah, sure. Some people don't realize the danger and stay. But for her, who's clearly been like, yes, I've been interacting with lots of Red Moon people, I know I'm a Red Moon person, why the fuck is you and your family still here?
私も彼が何をしたのか知らない。あの人は、もう何言ってるの？彼がどんな秘密を抱えてるかなんて私は知らない。あの人のことがわからないわ。私の知ってるレリルは彼を怖がるべきなのに。それより早く言って。 さっき渡したもの。中に何が？月のかけらよ。お月様からほんの少し赤い。そうよ。赤月の血が絶えることはない。血の色をした月光は私たちの体の中を巡る炎。
She gave her a piece of the moon, supposedly. Huh. So it's obviously not the moon marrow, because the moon marrow should be inside that thing. So what did she give her? And have we seen it elsewhere? It's hard to say, because we don't know specifically what she gave. Presumably it should be a piece of the red moon, but like we haven't really seen anything. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Like, because like we didn't need any piece, right? Like I don't think. Oh, actually, no. Maybe she's. I guess she could be an ancestor of Arlecchino, perhaps. Maybe because she escaped Arlecchino, she could be, the great-great-great-great-grandmother of Arlecchino or something like that. Oh, God, I fucking hate this so much. I hate the fucking camera. I hate the movement based on the camera. Okay, so I could do the middle one, or I could go the side route. Seems like the side route is safer, or not even sure. Oop. Oh, fuck. I can't make this. Fuck. Oh, wait. Two. Bump that. Oh, fuck! Oh, god damn, I fucking hate this fucking camera! Oh my god, dude, fuck off! Jeez, fucking, they're so fucking annoying. Oh my god! Just, god damn it, just go the fucking way I want! This fucking camera is so fucking annoying, because you have to constantly keep in your head. This goes this way, this goes this way, this goes this way. Other than the obvious fucking thing of, yes, you can clearly see where your piece is. You can clearly see which way it's facing. You know, like, it's just like, I don't know, maybe other people didn't have as big a problem with this. Maybe other people were like, oh no, I do everything by camera. And so maybe, for me, I do everything by piece. I'm like, yeah, where's my piece located? Because like, in games like Final Fantasy Tactics, everything is piece relative. Because the camera can be moved and shifted around, so everything should be piece relative. It's like, yes, if you press up on the D-pad, your character's going to move forward, I think. Actually, I guess that in a while. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe it is up. I don't think it's relative to camera, though. I think it is up. If you press up on the D-pad, your character moves forward based on where they're facing. But then again, I guess they can face other ways. I don't know.
まさか陛下を裏切った者の末路はご存知のはずです。裏切った。
もしお前たちにまだ正義を追う心。
計画通り王宮内の騎士は団員たちに任せよう。俺の役目は牢へ向かい気をつけてくれ。後で。
Oh, interesting.
ベズルは任せた。剣を抜け。俺は。
He said he was betrayed, so this could be the betrayal. Rayrir didn't go and save his brother. Either that, or his maybe Verdofnir said something, which led him to be like, "Oh shit, Felindus is in danger. I have to go." Yeah, maybe he said something like that. Wait. See, this one at least is a little easier to understand because the angle is a little more. Oh, fuck. Never mind. Yeah, I'm gonna go here. Go to this 2-piece. Oh, wait. Fuck. How? Oh, I see. I probably need... Yeah. So I didn't even need the 2-piece. So this is down, the only way I can go. It forces you down this path, and this has to be it.
ひどい匂いだ。それに来た。ベズルさん、いますか？
君か。
驚きましたか？いや、
私の両目が見えなくなった瞬間、多少は感じたとも。陛下、
今回はどんな予言を？
予言ではない。陛下への王の神知は、もはやあの方が夢中になっ
なのにそれを聞き入れず、陛下はその目を、俺はダインに頼まれてここに来たんです。
なあ、すべて見た通りだよ。運命を見通す力を与えられた者は、むしろ心の衰弱を早めてしまう。
ベズルさん、失礼だが。
I mean, to be fair, you know, sure, right? Like, it's gotta suck for someone who do these prophecies. It also depends, like, is he given enough information within the prophecies to actually change things, right? And also, like, I'm sure someone who can foresee things does a much better job in a place where, like, the cards aren't so stacked against him, right? Where the king isn't such a complete lunatic.
人知を超えた知恵を持つ者は、人の陛下はきっと自分の見たくない未来をあなたの目に映してほしくなかったんでしょ
う。ああ、確かにその行為には
つい先
また何かが見え始めている。
Ah, right up until he succumbed to the abyss. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I always assumed that his loss of his powers and sight was maybe the instigating factor of what made him turn to the abyss.
あなたを救うために我々は共に王宮へ突入しました。
君の心には怒りと希望が渦巻いている。でもこれは結末。レイリル、この世には義勇を抱く者が数多くいる。面白い。それはナイフかい？
あなたほどの力の持ち主ならいくらか視力を回復させることもできるでしょ
う。もちろんだ。
はい、俺たちは味方のままでいられます。
君とその恋人、
王朝、国家、世界と、俺は愛する人を捨ててまで星に走ろうだなんて思えない。でも
運命には生と死、合う合わないの2つしかない。人々が幸福を得る、それがまさに運命の残酷なと。
そんなはずない。あなたがこの世界の変化をよく見ろと、もっと力をつけ、俺に災いを見るよう導いたのに。
忠告？君にも聞こえていたのか。これで私たちの間に違いを。
Oh, okay. So I was thinking that maybe Verdofnir got corrupted earlier than that, right? That maybe he had been imprisoned earlier, and Dainsleif just didn't hear about it for a while. But no, okay. So that was the abyss then. So because I was gonna say, like, because the voice looks very abyss coded, right? Purple, ominous shroud. So the abyss just convinced him that it was Verdofnir saying all these things. Either that, or he wanted it to be Verdofnir, so that it could provide him the answers.
奇妙な笑顔を見せてる。
じゃあ、私から一つ忠告させてもらおう。君が生きている限り、君たちの物語は終わらない。それが運命に。
That is interesting, right?
唯一の。
So as long as you live, I mean, so that could be his sole obsession. So the question, of course, is, from what he's saying, right, and the fact that we know Rayleigh is still alive right now, it would imply that Thelindis is also alive, right? Because otherwise he wouldn't say to survive. Because if Thelindis dies, then him Rayleigh surviving doesn't do shit. So But then, of course, there's also the idea that, well, does she actually survive? You know, does she survive in the form that she is currently? Well, at least not currently, but in the past. Does she still have that body, right? Did she retain her body? Did she slowly turn into a hilichurl? Is he just saying, if you survive, you'll come across her reincarnation? Like maybe Thulindus, you know, reincarnates after her death, and Rhaegar can meet the reincarnation, or is it, that maybe she marries and has children and her descendants or something? I mean, I would assume that she survives, because we did see her in that portal. So it could be that with the overthrowing of the king, more research is put into the Crimson Moon. So she's able to, and maybe they use the Abyss energy to open the portal to the Red Moon. And that's where she sets up the machinery, and that's why we were able to see her there. But she just wasn't able to unlock the Moon Mirror, because obviously that's where we find it. So she couldn't have gotten it at that point. Or maybe she was able to see it, but she wasn't able to get it. Perhaps. Maybe her experiments are true. Well, we'll see. So, yeah, so Verdofnir says, stay. So obviously, yes. Clearly what we hear is that Verdofnir had been spoken to by the Abyss, Rhaegar as well. That wasn't Verdofnir, that was Rhaegar. That was the Abyss itself. Presumably in the same way that it's been speaking to the king. But these two have a stronger sense of self, so they haven't been corrupted as easily.
信じるか信じない
その言葉
鍵を開けてくれて感謝するそのおかげ
この時王都の各地で異常なエネルギー
私が君なら
新品
Oh
レリル私たちは
ベズルフェルニルが何かを言っていたがよく聞こえなかった
That is interesting then. So presumably it's because Rhine-Daughter is here, right? So Rhine-Daughter is here. Or no. Heroptatier. Heroptatier was the head of the university. Shit, was he there? I don't think he was. So it could be that Heroptatier was using this time to do something. So the question is that sudden blast of energy, was that the death of the king and the releasing of the abyss power that might have been residing in the king? Was it Heroptatier doing some random bullshit? Oh, I see. Oh, good. It's a good thing I swapped a lot better. So that is the question. It's like, who betrayed him? Like, well, so I thought maybe it was Rhaegar, right? Who went after his girl. But like, no, he did release him from prison. So even though he didn't help out the blind man, he was still the Verdofnir could have left. So I don't think Dainsleif would have counted that as a betrayal. But the fact that it's the university that's a problem, and the head of the university was Heroptatier, who I was saying is kind of even Rhine-Daughter said that they're the slimiest of them. So it could be that Heroptatier was using this time. I mean, who knows? Maybe it was Heroptatier who found the abyss first, and then used it to corrupt the king to continue his research, and just didn't anticipate the king turning into an unreasonable dick. And now that they know that the king's going to be overthrown, he could be like, cool, I'm going to put my plans into operation then.
ひいては王国全体に陛下が密かに張り巡らせた仕掛けがあると。だが、どこにどんな力が配置されているかは。
Or maybe that's it. Maybe Heroptatier created these secret mechanisms, and maybe these mechanisms inundate the city with the abyss power or something.
助けてくれ！持ちこたえろ！魔物を近づかせるな！助け！今のは爆発音。だいぶあの方の仕掛けによるものだとしたら、そうなると研究の中枢の一つである新品は。
響け格のない行くぞテア清掃を開始します。ビッグウェーブ作動出発キャンせい手加減なしだぜ。我に光をドリフトよっどよめく神学火炎を刻めせあらはっ行くぞはっ霧となって散りなさい。注目君にそっちあれ加速するよ来たよ
Or maybe... So, I mean, I assume that the power pulse was probably because of the king. But I'm curious if maybe... I don't know, like, maybe she's using the power from the Abyss to open up the portal at this point and trying in this... I don't... Yeah, because this is obviously going to fill into this memory.
まずいダメ机じゃ耐えられない。あ先週の検査の後研究誰かいますか助けていや
Is the thing she got, is it gonna, like, glow? Did she get something? No, I don't think so. Or is she hearing the red moon? Is the red moon gonna lead her to the light?
これは
レリルあなたやっぱり任務を果たしに来たのね。
何違う今王宮で大変なことが起きてるんだ一緒に来てくれ
私に嘘をつく必要はないわ。
嘘
あなたの心配はよくわかってる。あなたが決めたことも尊重するわ。でも心配はいらない。解決方法を見つけたから。この全てを終わらせる方法が分かったの。あなたが一番望んでいた普通の人生を返してあげる。でも結婚の話はちょっとお預けになりそうね。
ソリンディスダメだ行くなソリンディスソリンディス
Huh, so is that the Abyss then?
いやダメだ俺はソリンディスを助けに行く。
だがどうやって君はただの諜報員でしかなう意志の凡庸だ。
So that might be. So that portal might have been to where the moon was. It is questionable because, like, the portal looks very much like the portal that an abyss portal, because that looks very much like what Sir Logi uses. Sir Logi created a portal like that. So is that? Oh, I see. I see. So they killed the king. The Abyss broke free or whatever. And now he's taking his share of the Abyss power. So that was obviously, that's where the five sinners were. That's obviously the throne, right? So they must have killed the king. And they were inundated with the Abyss. They took the Abyss power they wanted. They wanted power. Obviously, Sir Logi most of all. But the other ones wanted to use power as a means for something else. Whereas Sir Logi just wants power just because he wants power. I mean, she did tell him to wait. She's like, hey, I found the solution. I can fix this. Just wait for me. So it could be that she is alive. I was thinking maybe reincarnation, but probably not. She probably is preserved, where she went. So, although the bad thing about it, though, is simply because the bad thing about this, though, is that this can't be the Red Moon, because we were at the Red Moon, right? We got the marrow from the Red Moon. So wherever she went was not there. So it is, it's tough to know. Now, hopefully I don't know why he shouted Verdofnir, although maybe he was like, Verdofnir, why didn't you warn me? Stuff like that, right? But Verdofnir said, hey, survive. If you survive, you will meet her. Oh, okay, so he's still... Okay, never mind. He hasn't completely lost himself. But he has to come to the power so that he can survive. I mean, that's basically what Verdofnir said. So, is that the same portal, or is that... Because, like, it looked very similar. And he got the Abyss power. So he got the Abyss power. So it helps him survive. But yeah, so, like, was that portal the Abyss? Was that portal the moon? Because obviously all her research was into the moon, and that could explain why Thelindis was found in the Red Moon Sanctuary, manipulating those machines to try to get the marrow. Because that could have been done after that point, right? So, because it seemed like, based on what we saw, she never actually got into the Sanctuary because it required too much power. So it could be that portal was a portal into the Sanctuary directly, using the power of the Abyss that was just remaining around the city because of all the explosions and shit. Or because of how fragile the dimension lines were because of all the shit that was going on. So it could be that she got popped into there and then tried to get the moon marrow and realized she couldn't. I thought that's begging the question of, like, her goal always seemed to be getting the moon marrow, right? So if her goal was getting the moon marrow, because with the rise of the Red Moon, it'll purge away all impurities, blah, 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 all that shit. If she was after the Red Moon marrow, the fact that we got it in the present means that she wasn't able to in the past. Which does, and we didn't see her at all, besides just the illusions and her setting up the machines and shit that we eventually used to get the Red Moon marrow. So it does beg the question of what happened to her, right? If she tried to get it back in the past, the machine were able to reveal the Red Moon, but she was not able to take the marrow, then what did she do? Like, where did she go at that point?
人の記憶を覗いてると気分が悪くなる。カーン・ルイヤの物語はまるでたくさんの人がついた嘘でできてるみたいだね。どの嘘も小さな。
Okay, so basically they did kill the Vinster King, and with the death of the Vinster King, the Abyss, I assume, burst forth, right? And we saw the two shadowy figures. Those are two of the sinners who had already taken the Abyss of power. We obviously know Sir Logi 100% took it. Ryan Daughter seems very, very likely as well, especially considering Durin, the old Durin, how corrupted he was. And technically all of the sinners must have taken it, right? So we know 3 of them. Roptatir must have also been there, although we only really saw 2 shadowy fingers, but maybe Roptatir was there too. And then Verdofnir, but it could be that Verdofnir was already taken, because he said, yeah, I lost my powers until he succumbed to the Abyss. So maybe he eventually got his way out. I don't know. I don't get what Dainsleif said, though. He said Dainsleif went to his brother, and his brother refused to escape. So maybe that was after they killed the king? So maybe after that, he went to the prison and found his brother still chilling there with it open, and was like, hey, come on, let's go. And he's like, nope. Actually, maybe that was it. Maybe Dainsleif wants to leave, and Verdofnir was like, no, I'm staying. Like, I'm going to help, continue the rule of this kingdom. Actually, I don't know. Maybe he just gave up, honestly. Like, maybe because, like, he says he's just unwilling pawn of fate, right? And then nothing he's doing is he's just condemned to watch the fall of Conria. Like, he already predicted the fall of Conria. He knows that this is just turning the wheels of fate towards that. So who knows? Maybe he did give up. Maybe he was corrupted, but maybe he didn't actively help after that point. Or maybe he did. Who knows? Maybe he did try to turn Conria's course from destruction, and eventually, and in the end, failed, obviously. But him staying behind to help lead might have been not what Dainsleif wanted. And Dainsleif was like, "No, let's go. Like, we did what we want. Let's go and help the citizens." And he's like, "No, I'm going to stay."
悲しみ。それがどうしたって。
God damn. So, that took an hour and 12 minutes.
戻ったよ。
An hour and 12 minutes with no checkpoints, it seems. Because when I left before, I had to do it. Now I had to redo a portion of it, right? But, like, I redid a portion of it, which I think it's about 15 minutes to just quickly skip through and all that shit. So, it took me about 15 minutes to skip through all that shit. So that means the remainder of it took me an hour. But to be fair, I did pause. And again, started theory crafting again. So, maybe 15 minutes of that hour was spent wasted, paused in discussion. But still, that kind of just means the whole sequence takes an hour. So they dump you in a sequence that takes you an hour. That takes you an hour and doesn't fucking warn you that, by the way, make sure you have an hour before you start this, because there are no checkpoints. If you ever leave this, you'll reset everything. Like, I understand how it's better to do this in one contiguous chunk, because it is just focused on his story. But still, it's like, an hour is not a small amount of time, right? For people who aren't prepared to invest an hour into something like this, it is kind of shitty that if it's like, oh, someone starts this thinking, okay, I have 30 minutes, I can quickly do some Genshin dailies, maybe do a few portions of the story, and then you start going into this, and it's like, oh, fuck, you get halfway through, and you're like, shit, I have to go, like, I am pressed for time, I have to leave. You know? So, yeah, generally, checkpointing is always good. You can always do it. Like, there was the first instance where there was the chest. I'm like, okay, well, and the chest didn't reappear, so there's no way to, like, respawn the chest constantly to farm. No, like, the chest appeared once and stopped. So it's like, clearly you're saving some portions of the story, because if you weren't saving and you were really redoing it over and over again, you know, it's like, oh, you lost your progress. It's like, yeah, but you didn't lose my progress because the chest didn't reappear. So clearly you remember that you had spawned the chest for me and didn't respawn it again. So if you know not to respawn the chest, then why the fuck don't you just know where the fuck I was and just let me continue from that spot, right?
だが、私はレリルが平凡な人間だとは思わぬ。あの時代の多くの出来事、
意味深な物言いだね。などくらいの人を
そういう意図で言ったのではない。だが、この
悪いけど強引に協力を頼まれても、私はああ、でもさっきはよくやってくれたよ。この儀式では。
けど、まだ謎が多いよな。
まあ待ちなって。話すべきことはちゃんと教えるさ。ヤフォだ。イエス
サー、お任せを。
So so his goal is obviously to find the Lindis. So maybe at this point he understands that she was chasing after the Red Moon. So maybe that's why he's going after the moon. He wants maybe he thinks if he has all the moon marrow, maybe he thinks if he has all the moon marrow, the Lindis will show up.
動く気配すら見せないとは。まさか契約書の第一条を忘れたのかい？
申し訳ないが、その
ボスが手を動かすのが面倒な時、代わりにやるって決まりだ。
そうであったか。
ま、安心しな。うちの労働方針は実によくできてる。むしろ
Well, I mean, like, pouring tea is a common, like, secretary task and stuff like that. I wouldn't say having that in a contract is too crazy.
人が汗水垂らして働いてる時にまずいことに
このような時に邪魔をして申し訳ない。どうやら厄介な
Oh, god damn it. Are you fucking kidding me? I just wanted to fucking stop. Are you fucking... Dude, are you fucking kidding me, man? So it's like, hey, I know we just put you through an hour-long cutscene, but guess what? It's not fucking over! So, sorry if you wanted to fucking stop, but you can't. Like, dude, fucking put checkpoints in shit! It's super easy, too. Like, I understand the basic premise, right? Like, oh, okay, well, if they gave us control, we could just teleport out of that room, right? They could just teleport us out of the room. We could teleport out of the room and miss that the door opening takes us to another spot, right? But again, you could easily just be like, well, okay, to continue the quest, you need to go back into that room. And... So, like, I just want to fucking stop. I've been walking for a fucking hour and 15 minutes. I need to fucking... I want to fucking stop. I want to get something to eat. I want to shower off. Like, why? Like, dude... This is such trash. And again, it's one of the things that if you're going to do something like this, then you should warn people that Final Fantasy does a really good job of it. If you ever are about to enter a sequence of cutscenes that go for a long period of time, the game warns you. They're like, hey, wait a minute. If you talk to this NPC, it's going to start a sequence of cutscenes. Like, make sure you have enough time budgeted for this shit, right? That's what they do. This game's like... Hey, surprise 1 hour fucking cutscene that doesn't checkpoint at all. And by the way, once you finish that, more cutscenes that make it even longer. It's like, and see, what I really hate about this shit, right, is that for people who are in a hurry, who are like, come on, hurry the fuck up, let me fucking finish this so I can fucking stop, you're gonna make them, they're gonna rush through this part, not pay attention, or get annoyed by the fact that they keep getting fucked by your fucking long cutscene that doesn't have it. Like, there are easy ways to fix this. We come out of the thing, right? We come out of it, you have that little wrap-up thing, and then before we leave the Curatorium, you just give us free reign, right? And to continue, we need to talk to Nefer. And if we talk to Nefer, it continues another thing. Because then at the very least I know, hey, you know, because right now, I could just stop, right? I could just quit the game, save quit. I could just, like, exit the game completely. But I don't know what would happen, right? Do they checkpoint the start of this cutscene? It's a new cutscene, so maybe it is. But again, it's just like, it's like, hey, by the way, I know you just finished a 1 hour long cutscene, but without any rest or the ability to break at all, we're gonna throw you into another fucking 10-minute long cutscene. In some unknown fucking location, and it's just like, it's just fucking annoying, because now I feel like I'm rushing through this so I can fucking stop, which means I'm not enjoying it, because like this is a interesting quest, right? Like, I don't, and so like that's the annoying thing when you do stupid shit like this, is you piss people off, and now they're kind of in a rush to kind of finish the stupid thing, and this is what happens when you have shit pacing, and you don't fucking put checkpoints in. So many fucking times you can be like, especially when you just came out of a scene, a cutscene that was so long, and that if you ever left it at all, you got fucked. Yeah, like, so this is the exact same bullshit that appeared before, right? You were in a special story mode. If you leave, you'll have to experience this content again. Okay, but this is the exact same warning that appeared when I went into the 1 hour long one. So basically the question is, if I leave, will I come to the start of this? Or if I leave, will I have to redo the entire fall of Conria, the fall of the Vinster King again, right? Because it took me a literal hour to do that. Are you saying that I have to do that a literal hour again? So, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, right? Walking. Take a little break while stay logged into the game so I can finish this when I come back. But again, It's just bullshit. And I did see a meme that was saying like, oh my god, the story just like when will the story end type thing, and I can see why, because it's like, hey, by the way, here's a 1 hour long cutscene, and if you leave, you lose all progress in that cutscene. Oh look, you're done with that, cool. As a break, here's another 10-minute cutscene where you're now in another zone. That if you leave, you lose all progress. And now that I know how serious they are when they say, oh yeah, you're going to lose all progress, I'm really worried that if I leave, I might have to redo the 1 hour long portion as well. Right? So, like, that's the problem. Wait, why are we sorting cookies? Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm worried that if I leave, I have to redo the 1 hour portion. Now, realistically, I shouldn't, right? Realistically, it shouldn't be that, right? Because they are clearly two distinctly separate cutscenes, you know? So one would assume that if I quit, it would bump me back just at the start of this. Which would be fine if they do that. The problem is that I've gotten fucked last time, thinking that, oh yeah, they do some checkpointing. Thinking, oh, well, the chest appeared, so that must be a checkpoint within the quest. I can just leave and go back into the ceremony, and I'll just appear right at that chest, where that chest appeared, right? And then got fucked and have to do the entire thing all over again. So, it's like, while I'm annoyed, and I think it might checkpoint, at least at this point, because they are now two separate quests in two completely different locations. The risk is, if I'm wrong, and they consider this entire thing one contiguous cutscene, despite, you know, being in different locations and different instance areas, you know, it could be that despite that, they consider all one thing and I have to redo the entire 1 hour thing before, which would be absolutely shit and would be absolutely terrible. And the thing is, it's like, even if I'm skipping ahead, that's still like a good hour. Maybe I can, maybe 45 minutes, maybe if I'm just powering through, skipping, like, you know, trying to blast through all dialogue as quickly as possible. Maybe it's only in 45 minutes, but still, I have to redo 45 minutes after already redoing 15 minutes because of my previous fuck up, right? Well, not even my previous fuck up. It's because the game just is fucking retarded that they don't checkpoint these super long fucking quests, which is crazy because they have done it before. And like, if you don't want to checkpoint, that's, not fine. It's stupid. You're a piece of shit for not checkpointing your fucking quests, especially when they're this long. But what's actually unforgivable, right? So it's a dick move to not checkpoint these long quests. It's a dick move. It's poor design. You're an idiot for doing it. But you're an asshole for not warning people about it. You're a complete piece of shit for not warning your player base. Oh, by the way, please dedicate a full fucking hour to doing this. Please dedicate a full hour and a half, 2 hours, because this is one long cutscene with no fucking checkpoints, and so you need to do it all in one sitting, right? If you're going to fucking do this, you have to warn your players. You know? Not warning your players is just, you're a complete piece of shit if you don't do that. You know? Like, this is unforgivable. That's the unforgivable thing. Making a long cutscene, not having checkpoints, that's an annoyance, right? That's an annoyance. But it's unforgivable to not warn your players about how you're about to fuck them, right? You know? Anyway, so I will be right back. I need to go shower off and get something to eat. So I've been walking for the last hour and 15 minutes. I'm hungry. That's something I woke up and then immediately started walking, so I haven't eaten anything, so I'll be right back. Well, not quite be right back. I'll be back in like 10-15 minutes. So you can enjoy Nefer. Unfortunately, the environment isn't the prettiest. Let's actually look this way. That's just some more shit. Anyway, be right back.
感情とは頭の中で荒れ狂う波みたいなものだ。それを無理に沈めようとすると波に飲まれて心の深いところまで落とされてしまう。かといって無視すれば心がバラバラになってしまうんだ。 アシュルがなぜカウンターの上にいるかって？接客さ。餌代を稼がないとだろ？物事を観察するときは目に頼りすぎちゃいけないよ。人は見たいものだけを見る癖がある。大事なのは自分を過信しないことだ。感情とは頭の中で荒れ狂う波みたいなものだ。それを無理に沈めようとすると波に飲まれて心の深いところまで落とされてしまう。かといって無視すれば心がバラバラになってしまうんだ。物事を観察するときは目に頼りすぎちゃいけないよ。人は見たいものだけを見る癖がある。大事なのは自分を過信しないことだ。アシュルがなぜカウンターの上にいるかって？接客さ。餌代を稼がないとだろ？物事を観察するときは 目に頼りすぎちゃいけないよ。人は見たいものだけを見る癖がある。大事なのは自分を過信しないことだ。感情とは頭の中で荒れ狂う波みたいなものだ。それを無理に沈めようとすると波に飲まれて心の深いところまで落とされてしまう。かといって無視すれば心がバラバラになってしまうんだ。アシュルがなぜカウンターの上にいるかって？接客さ。餌代を稼がないとだろ？ 察するときは目に頼りすぎちゃいけないよ。人は見たいものだけを見る癖がある。大事なのは自分を過信しないことだ。感情とは頭の中で荒れ狂う波みたいなものだ。それを無理に沈めようとすると波に飲まれて心の深いところまで落とされてしまう。かといって無視すれば心がバラバラになってしまうんだ。アシュルがなぜカウンターの上にいるかって？接客さ。餌代を稼がないとだろ？感情とは頭の中で荒れ狂う波みたいなものだ。それを無理に沈めようとすると波に飲まれて心の深いところまで落とされてしまう。かといって無視すれば心がバラバラになってしまうんだ。物事を観察するときは目に頼りすぎちゃいけないよ。人は見たいものだけを見る癖がある。大事なのは自分を過信しないことだ。
こんな時間に誰か来るなんて。お前。
待った。
どこ行ってたんだ。シヌヘがずっと探し。
レテヌおじさん、今へそくり隠してたでしょ。私見てたよ。
Oh, it's little never. It's weird. Why are we going? Oh, is that what's happening? It's because we were able to go into Rarier's memory. He's now going into ours.
おう、ネフェル。最近シヌヘはどうしてる？
機嫌を？アポピおじさん、父さんに何をお願いするの？
新しい歌を作ったのさ。次の祭典で。
アポピおじさんの歌？聞きたい。でもレテヌおじさんに。
時間ならたっぷりあるさ。そっちの用事が済んだらまた来るといい。向こうに石が積んであるだろ。そこに座。
わかった。レテヌおじさんから私のこと探してたって聞いたよ。
ああ、ネフェル。もっと早く来てくれたら父さんが持ち帰った戦利品を一緒に楽しめたんだが。
戦利品？誰かと戦ったの？
砂嵐が収まったばかりだったからな。前にも話したが、外に行ってたのは水源の問題を解決するためだ。つまり父さんが戦利品を。
井戸の問題が解決したんだね。
そうだ。新しい井戸を見つけたぞ。水もた。
砂嵐さえなければ井戸が崩れ。
族長としてこういった問題を解決。これまでに聞かせてきた無数の物語を覚えてるか？俺たちのご先祖様は今よりもずっと豊かだった。でももう大丈夫だ。数ヶ月前に教令員の人たちと手を組んで。
教令員の助っ人になる？
助っ人というより特使って。これは何も悪いことじゃないぞ。砂漠は長いこと隔離されてきた。
特使になると何かいいこと？
もちろんだとも。例えば俺に月が回。
族長ともあろう者が身分を偽って我々を欺くとはな。大事な井戸に手を出し。
あの水は俺たちのもんだ。何も言わずあれだけの水を汲むなんて家臣様の許可でも取ったのか？
自称教令員の特使か。この嘘つきが。
ヤフォダが怯えてる。無理もない。死体が転がってる。シャムシールに探検。
I see, so I guess he lied, stole their stuff.
紙が落ちてる。何か書いて。
私はシムティ族の族長シヌヘです。ハリル様、これが2度目の手紙になります。前回は返事が届きませんでしたが、お伝えしたいことがあります。先日の砂嵐で私たちの領地にある井戸が塞がれてしまったの。神に誓ってイヤブの井戸を傷つけてはいません。ただ切羽詰まっ以前困ったことがあればこの住所にどうか正式に特使の身分を認めてください。そして状況は一刻を争います。
この手紙は、これを書いた本人は無残な死を遂げたシムティ族の生き残り、滑稽な嘘つき。
So I assume she probably found the person who knew her father in the academy and...
まともな酒を出してくれると思ったのだが、
こちらはアール村で最も上質な酒。
君たちにやれる枠は一つだけだと教令員はそう言っている。私としてはその人
I see, so that's how Nefer
どう
gets
か
in.
信じてください。とても才能のある子供を見つけたんです。神様のためにもこの子にどう
見ない顔だが、
先日この村に流れ着いた女の子です。
おい、どこから来たんだ？
その辺の砂の山。
他の家族は？子供は全部で？
他には誰もいない。
誰もいない。兄弟も両親もいないのか？
黄砂と一緒に眠ってるのが兄弟だ。
はあ、この申請書に名前。ネフェル？見た目からわからなかったが。
Perhaps because of her mother.
ネフェルさん、お配りした今期の研究テーマはよく読み。
あ、でも先生。
何でしょう？
他の人の課題を見たんだけど、私にくれた課題だけ簡単。
そんなこと思っていませんよ。
本当にバカなら、そもそもこの問題にも気づかず、先生に質問すらし。
ええ、やはり鋭い指摘をしますね。
私が砂漠の人間だから。
申し訳ない、ネフェルさん。この話はやめましょう。
外から教令員に手紙が届いた場合、どこで受け取ればいいか知りたいんだ。
家族からの手紙ですか？
いや、家族からじゃないし、最近
そういう手紙は知恵の伝道の何か探し物なら。
そう、ありがとう。
いえ、お気になさらず。
そんなことないさ。教令員のルールは分かってる。砂漠のずっと前から気づいてた。世界はいつだって
ネフェルさん。
ああ、でもそれだけじゃない。人はやっぱり成功者になるしかないんだってことも。あった。誰も受け取らなかったか、配達ミスで放置されたどれ。 オルモス港の建築の老朽化に関する報告書。そこに駐屯してる30人団の責任者、開封もされずに放置されてるところを見ると、どうやら受取人は30人団の意見を全く気に留めなかったようだね。宛先は初めて見る名前だ。妙論派の有名な教授だろうか。こっちは正論派の賢者宛ての手紙だね。サティアワダライフによる症状の経過観察。どの手紙もなんだか論文みたいな件名だ。お香の導きのもと、私たちは森の中で次第にこのような症状は臨床的にも香料中毒とみな。例えばとても有益な情報。裏注釈。差出人は毒キノコを服用した後にこの手紙を書いているので返送すべし。こっちの宛先が大賢者。スメールの近年の教育政策に関ここ数年、教令員は新たな政策のもと。しかしわしの知る限りでは、学生は本当の意味で過度に簡単な課題を与えられ、指導もおざなり、さらにはアーカー社の権限。教育こそが教令員の土台であり、知識はスメールを築く根幹だ。このような行為は教育の正しい理念を実践していると言えるだろうか。大賢者は確かに教令員全体の意思決定者である。だがわしやすべてのものと同じく、かつては一学生だったことを忘れてはならない。この問題にしっかり向き合ってもらいたい。素晴らしい手紙じゃないか。本人に届かなく。差出人はソロン派の賢者ジュライセン。砂漠の人間の苦しみを分かってくれ。ソロン派の賢者から大賢者に宛てた手紙もこうし。まあいい。砂漠からの手紙届いてる保証はないけど、ここにないとなると物が多すぎる。どれだけの間放置されてるんだ。本当にここの文献のすべてに目を通せる人なんて。
こんにちは、ハリルさん。私はシヌヘ、シムティ族の族長です。 あの時のことをまだ覚えていらっしゃいますか？私は皆さんを安全な場所に連れて名前を教えていただくのは我が部族にとって極めて重要なことです。私たちシムティ族は長年境を流浪しています。あなたは今、私は深刻な問題に直面。先日激しい砂嵐によって私たちの領地にある井戸が塞がれてしまった。彼らはサムード族の末裔です。私たちは皆トゥライトゥーラの移民にあたり、花の女主人を。そこにある井戸は今イヤブの人々のものです。イヤブ族に援助を断られたため、以前教令院にいながら私の力になってくれるとおっしゃっていましたね。この件について、それと以前お話しした際に、教令院は今砂漠は資源に乏しく、私ができることにも限界が。
結局教令院の奴らはあんたのことなんか。それなのに月が回ってきただの。いつかもっといい場所に連れて行ってくれるとも言ってた。あんたはどこまでも嘘。誰があんたを信じるって言うんだい。結局私が代わりに。世話になったね。今日はあんたにお別れを言いに来た。
ネフェル、その荷物どこに行くつもりですか？
退学した。故郷に用があって一旦帰ることにしたんだよ。
ですが、せっかく入学できたのに。
そうだね。でももうどうでもいい。私には今すぐお香があるんだけど、持って帰るのは面倒だから。ん？お香が好きなんだろ？そうそう。
それってネフェルが故郷から持ってきたものですよね。とても。
ああ、あれは嘘さ。ちっとも貴重じゃない。金にもならないし、あんたにやるよ。
ネフェル。
じゃ、私はこれで。
故郷に帰っても私のことを忘れないでくださいね。だって一番の友達でしょ。
ああ、なんてね。あの香料、最後に言ったのも嘘。生きていられるかもわからないんだ。お会いできて光栄だよ、アリーフさん。
教令員の特使のお出ましってことは、よほどでっかい商売でも持ちかけてくれるんだろうな。
なぜ武器を構えてる？他の特使ではなく、砂の世界は権力の交代がとても早い。
見る目があるな。
この井戸がまさにその強さの証明だ。
俺たちを褒めるためだけに。
もちろんだ。最高にいい知らせ。教令員陰論派の文献によると、イヤ部族の支配下にあるとここに来るまでの道で確認してきたけど、地図からすると
5000万重要な遺跡という割にたったの5000万もなか。
図に乗るな。こっちが何も知らないと思うなよ。この井戸はあんたらが武力で
それがなんだ。
そう焦るな。確かに武力による占領は見栄えのいい行動じゃない。とはいえ、教令員も実効支配をしている方と取引するしかない。これがどういう意味かは。
それが事実ならいいんだがな。もし俺を騙すような真似をしたらお前
イヤ部の族長はこの格好を見てみな。ウリンに行ったことはなくても、これ野蛮人のくせに何をそんなに憂慮している？
確かに教令員はいいだろ。そういうことなら発掘権を売ってやる。このような素晴らしい知らせを届けてくれた読師に感謝するよ。
ああ、酒は好き。この素晴らしい取引。
族長、大変です。我々の井戸がウヌ族の奴らに奪われました。
なんだと？何をぼさっとしてる？
はっ。
イヤブは素晴らしい武力を有し。
どうした？
昨日持ってきたばかりの情報がウヌ族に漏れるなんて。
それってまさか。
よく聞きな。教令員は実効支配をする側としか取引。
そんな。徳師様、井戸も金も。
なら
内通者については俺が調べておく。
たったこれだけの会話でよくもここまで衝動的になれるもんだ。まあけしかける感覚は。
徳師様、つまり。
ああ、イヤブは荒々しく血気さ。族長さん、その通り。教令員は邪魔者を好きにさせておきはけどね。この件に関しては教令員が表立って出る。
ああ、砂漠には砂漠のルールがある。
その通り。出しゃばる勢力を抑える一番の方法。さて、資源を奪い合っていた時は利益欲しさにイヤ部族の奴らをこっちにけしかけてくれたね。いいかい？教令員は砂漠を正当に支配する者と取引したい。私たちはあの井戸のあたりの発掘権が欲しい。
言いたいことは
しっかりやっておくれよ。見てるかい父さん。見ろ、どんなに狂気じみた悪党も死ねばいい。こんな普通の奴らに私の故郷は滅ぼされたのか。笑えるな。 やっと境にはそもそも死ぬへ。父さん、あの時あんたが今日の私みたいに残酷であれば。
ネフェル、すべて過ぎたことだ。
沈黙を保ってくれると約束したはずじゃないのかい。
そうだ。
ヤホダさん、場を和ませてくれ。
わかった。話題を変えてみる。そういつになったらここから出られるんだ？たくさん歩いて疲れちゃったぞ。ランワも疲れたんじゃないか？
私も少々座って休みたいところだ。
もうすぐだ。この先に神殿があるはずだよ。そうだね。
でもこの神殿で終わりっていうのはいかにも砂漠っぽいけど。
砂漠の民にはそれぞれの運命がある。
神殿といえば、神殿の中には一体何が？
それは企業秘密。
そなたの覗き見の能力。
ほう、蒼月の子の聖女。
スメールのことはさほど知らぬ。しかしネフェルは砂漠の出身。砂漠の人間の信仰といえばキング・デシェレトと関係があるだろ
う。なんだかすごそうだな。
ヘルマヌビスの憑依対象といえばスメール教霊院の大マハマトラのセノだね。
おお、詳しいな。さすがボスだ。
セノを知ってるやつなんか大勢いるさ。セトスも知ってるよ。
へえ、セノってすごい人なのか？
確かにすごい人ではある。基本中の基本。さて、やっとたどり着いたね。あそこが出口のはずだ。
さっきからあたいが全く理解できない説明。さも賢そうな感じでペラペラ紹介してやりたいところだけど。
頭部が鳥の形をした心臓。
これはキング・デシェレトについていた七柱の一つ、時の王と近くで見てみる。
アシュルだったのか。
これは無事ということか？
物語が終われば世界が崩れて元の場所に帰れるはずだ。そもそもここは私の記憶の世界だし、何も怖いことはないんだよ。
そうなのか。
ああ、もうすぐ終わりだ。あんたのことかい。
実に醜い。
ちょうどいいタイミングだったでしょ。怪我がなくてよかった。さっきダインっぽい力が見えたけど。
もちろんだ。彼女に潜入調査。俺には貴様らの
それも騎士道精神ってやつかい？
さてな、収穫があったようだな。
ああ、あんたたちのおかげであいつを本当
か？ネフェルが何かしたのか？
実は神殿にたどり着く前から月の狩人、つまりかつてのレリルの破片への潜入調査に気づかれてしまって。
思考の世界の中でか？
レリルはかつて国王直属のスパイだった。
なるほど。
あいつはゲームボックスに妨害工作をして私の思考を読み取り、新しいゲーム版を。
そのボックスは大したものだ。もしやキング・デシェレ。
私を買いかぶりすぎだ。進化だった時の王とあんたらも見ただろ。はるか昔イヤ部族はシムティ族を皆殺しにした。ウヌ族とイヤ部族はどこにも存在しない5000万モラの土地をめぐって殺し合いをした。最後の祝賀会ではイヤ部族の族長が復讐しに来たウヌ族の刺客によって首を切られ、復讐を果たした私は故郷に戻った。神殿は相変わらず同じ場所に立っていて、砂漠で起きた神殿の前でとある猫に出会った。時の王トートに憑依さこのボックスはまさに時の王が授けてくれたものだ。盤面にあるのはこれらを通して私は秘密を覗く力を手に入れた。だが時の王が力を与えてくれたのは世の人々に真相を追い求めさせるためってわけでもないらしい。 神にも好き嫌いがあるものだ。
強大な力もその一つだ。
アビスのことを指して言ってるのなら、そうだね。さて、みんな、集まってくれてありがとう。月の狩人の件を調査すると約束したが、今回の作戦ではかなりの成果が得られた。 月の狩人レリル。彼はかつてカーン・ルイヤの国王の臣下だった。
Oh, okay, so that wasn't true. Because I was gonna say, like, was that girl maybe Arlecchino's like ancestor? Maybe not directly through blood. I mean, maybe she could still be a blood relative, right? But also, like, it is a physical object. It could have been passed on, maybe just to the people who had the strongest connection to the Red Moon.
なるほど。だからあれだけ
確かに悲しい話だ。レリルの人生は辛かったんだろうが、結局彼はワイルドハントって災いと一緒に婿の名くらいに流れ着いた。
Did he suffer? Like, sure, you know, his sure that like his fiance leaving like that does kind of suck, but like, did he really suffer? Like, oh no, poor guy, he was forced to murder people. Like, no, he wasn't.
しかもその危険度は日に日に増している。放っておけばいずれテイワット大陸全体を巻き込むだろう。
コロンビーナさん、一つお尋ねしても？レリルの記憶にあったという神秘に
ないかな。でも聞いた限り
ラウマさん、
蒼月の子の記録によると、月は秘密を隠しておるという。時に私も月の扉の伝説は聞いたことがある。だが実際
月の神なら月の扉の先が分かったりしませんか？
It's also weird because the moon she has the closest connection to would be the Red Moon. That was obviously a red portal. It was another portal. Although considering the timing, maybe it was like maybe that was. I mean, if Columbina helped, you'd think she would have remembered it.
残念だけど今はわからない。でも私は蒼月の力を持ってる。
しかしそれはあくまで。
月の神は月の扉を開ける資格を持ってる。まずは月の狩人に対抗できるだけの力を貯めないと。
ええ、確かに今は軽率に動けませんね。
It also does beg the question of how the fuck it opened in the first place, right? It's not like the Lindis had that much power. Rarier did get the power from the Abyss to do so, but like, how did she open it, right? Or probably not her, it's probably someone else.
レリルとソリンディスは扉の向こうの世界に行くのに失敗したのかもしれません。アビスの力を有する月の狩人は
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, you say, oh, maybe they both didn't. It's like, well, no, it could be that the reason why he got shredded to pieces is because he forced open the gate using the power of the Abyss, and he was inundated with abyssal power, and it could be that the moon is a natural antithesis to it, right? It could be that going in there, the moon power shredded his abyssal power to pieces, and because he was full of abyssal power, it fucked him up. Whereas the Lindis wasn't corrupted by the Abyss, she could have gone in unscathed.
月の狩人が何らかの力で引き裂かれ、無数の
理にかなってるな。確かにそう考えると、ワイルドハントがこれほど大量に発生。
もし月の狩人があれほどのアビスの力を持っていなければ。
その通りだ。アビスの力は
命は呪いによって延長される。どんな形になろうとも存続し続ける。僕のアビスに対する認識とも一致するよ。この点については僕なりの考えがある。実験の進捗はともかく、まずは完璧な調査結果を
どういたしまして。私の情報が
I I mean, if we have anything that can purify the Abyss, wouldn't that also be like a pretty good weapon against him?
いや、ただ、レリルがどうしてこんな。
レリルとはかつて友人同士だったそうだな。あまり慰めに。
ラウマの言う通り、月にも星にも目に見えるものには秘密や嘘が隠されてる。
誰かに慰められたのは久しぶりだな。感謝す。
みんな、会議はここまでとしよう。ネフェルには休息が必要。
ずいぶん気にかけてくれる。
よし。じゃあそれぞれ休憩を取るとし。
So that was basically a 2-hour-long fucking cutscene. Now, maybe there was a checkpoint, right? Maybe there is a checkpoint in the middle when we went to Sumeru and Nefer's memories. Maybe that was a checkpoint, and if we had left at that point, we could continue from there. But I didn't want to risk it. If that is the case, then okay, cool. There's a checkpoint where you where you don't so you don't have to do it in a 2-hour-long session to get through Rare's and Nefer's memories. But still, that's like, please warn people if you're gonna fucking do shit like this.
いい部屋だな。おっと。
気にすんなよ。ただ。
俺も騎士の端くれだ。レディの部屋に入るのは悪い。ネフェルは非分の館に戻って休んでいる。出発。まず彼女は時の王から授かった力で月の狩人を一時的にボックスの中に閉じ込めたが、月の狩人は遅かれ早かれ枷を破っ。
まあ、そんなに簡単。
ああ、それがゲームボックスがどれだけ貴重なボックスなのかについて、てっきりそれを理由に何か要求されるのかと思ったが。
2日？
まさにそこだ。そこで2点目だが、状況は緊迫している。お前は彼と親しいんだろ？ありがたい。あとな、アルベドとドゥリンと一緒にいくつかの計画を考えて、まずはお前にだけでも伝えておこうと思ってな。
おいらも気になってきた。
計画はこうだ。ただな、お前たちを仲間に加えるってのはどうも
一緒に月の狩人を倒しに行くんだろ。
細かいことは気にするな。話を円滑に進めるための話術だ。
ファルカさん、ちょっと修正案があるんだけど。
聞かせてもらおう。
人員配置に調整の余地があると思う。
一理ある。だが先に言っておくが、お前を信頼してないわけじゃない。
深刻な問題だから私も力を尽くしたい。うまくいけば他のメンバーにとってのリスクもかなり軽減できる。
Are we gonna absorb the Abyss power? Or with our purification or whatever?
ジンが前に手紙でお前のことをとても真面目で、人間は普通不利益を避けようとするものだが、みんなはきっと感謝するだろうが。
ありがとう、ファルカさん。
お前の意見もちゃんと検討しよう。
Okay, there we go. Finally a fucking breakpoint. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's go here. Jesus, yeah. I was at 179 resin before I even started this. So yeah, generally, I think it's a bad idea. You should never do shit like that without warning people. To be like, oh, by the way, if you start this quest, yeah, please set aside 2 hours of time to do this because it is one contiguous long quest with no breakpoints. Now, it's possible. It's possible there is a breakpoint. It's possible that the breakpoint is, like I said, when we went to Nefer's memory in Sumer. It's possible if we'd left, we could have continued from that spot. But I do know that just because they gave me a chest in rarest portion didn't mean that. Oh, see, there's a new. Darn, I can't swap it again. Anyway, I think that's a little dog shit. I think it does suck that I can't. So basically, I have to wait another 2 weeks before I can do another one. I was assuming that I could get a constellation every 8 weeks. But they have it over, I think, a 12-week period. So basically over 2 patches, because each patch is 6 weeks. Which kind of sucks, because that means if it was 8 weeks, then I could get 6 constellations. 6 constellations for characters every year. But with 12 weeks, you can only get 4. So, that is going to suck. It's not the end of the world, obviously, but still. But yeah, so anyway, I mean, I like the story. It's not like I don't like the story, but it is just kind of frustrating when you're just like, come on, man, you could just warn people, and barring like one, you should have checkpoints, flat out. You should always have a checkpoint. And 2, if you don't have checkpoints, you should then warn people. Oh, by the way, this is going to take 2 hours. Make sure you have 2 hours of time to spend, right? So therein lies the rub. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I will be logging out and playing another game. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to play Ghost of Yotei. I'm thinking Ghost of Yotei. I don't know if I want to go to tactics. I mean, Ghost of Yotei, I like to do Ghost of Yotei when I'm fresh. Like, doing it after work is kind of rough because it's like I'm tired and like it requires a lot of focus. So doing it when I'm fresh. That's why I was hoping this game I would be done with this, an hour ago. I would have done my workout, been popped out of my workout, and then immediately done Ghost of Yotei. But I mean, this is not super it doesn't involve super amount of concentration, but whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all